desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
I don't want to set the world on fire, honey. I love you too much. I just want to start a great big flame down in your heart. You see, way down inside of me, darling, I have only one desire. And that one desire is you. And I know nobody else ain't gonna do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just wanna be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No.
And hello everybody, I hope everybody's doing really well. Thank you for joining me in tonight's stream. Tonight we are going to be talking about Ethereum's new upgrade, the London upgrade, and more importantly we're going to talk about EIP-1559, which is one of the proposals that's being implemented. This proposal has the potential to really disrupt Ethereum, and it could go one way or the other. It could be really great, or it could be really bad, depending on how miners decide to react. Now, of course, the overall consensus is that miners are going to go along with it for now, but things could change in the next couple of days. So this upgrade is due on the 4th of August, so only 2 days to go until it happens. And I wanted to share with you all exactly what is expected in this upgrade and what the potential risks are, but of course what the potential upside is as well. So that's all coming in tonight's video. And then I'm going to look at a load of charts for you, apart from, of course, Ethereum. We're going to look at some others. I know that Cheesley messaged me earlier and asked for me to look at Litecoin and a couple others. So at the end of the video, we will go into some charts for you guys. So if you are watching this live, please do make sure you shout out in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to look at after we've talked about this Ethereum upgrade, because if the flippening is going to happen, could this be the first step towards it? Is Ethereum going to overtake Bitcoin? We're going to find out. So with all that said, please do make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you are watching this back later, do make sure that you like it and subscribe as well, and put a comment in the comments down below. As for the rest of you, I will, of course, get to chatting to you in a moment, so don't panic about that. I will say hello to everybody. Well, I wanted to get the intro out the way so that you all knew what was coming up in the video, and that when I do start waffling, you know what to skip forward to, okay? So, all right. With all that said, let me just quickly say hello to Chill Money. Chill Money, I'm assuming that's Christopher. Chris, is that you? You've just changed your username. We've also got Paul as well. Paul, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat there. We're on live on Twitch and, of course, live on YouTube as well. We will give people a chance to catch up with us and to join the stream. But while you're doing that, actually, I do have a tab I need to get ready. So I'm going to quickly, while I've got this screen up, put a tab up. Chill Money's there in the chat. We've got the what's it called? Just here, the chat popping up on the screen. So that's working. That's good to see. Right. So hopefully you're all doing really well, and I mean the market's looking pretty bullish. What a good weekend we had. I mean on the Friday night stream, we did talk about the market and what was going to happen. And I think I'm kind of right. I said it was more likely to just range. Bitcoin kind of has done that, although it's done pretty well. It stayed up at that sort of near 40k level. But what's it mean long term for it? Are we going to see another bump? I actually do think what we're going to see in the next few days is more pumping of Ethereum as we get closer to this upgrade. Will we see a downturn, a downside to it just after the upgrade? Will people sell off? Well, they'd have to be idiots to sell their Ethereum at this point, in my opinion, because Ethereum is just going to go up from here. But, you know, there's always people quite happy to take a profit when they can. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do see some people sell off after the 4th and the upgrade goes through. As long as, of course, the upgrade goes without a hitch. And we will talk about that in tonight's video. So yes, let me just, while I'm waffling, quickly get that tab up, because of course we always have to start off the market. We have to do our market sort of recap, our heat map viewing of what's going on across the market. So let us quickly pop on over to Coin360 and take a look. And yes, Chris in the chat says, this will shock the world, I think. Yeah, well, I think it's going to be really impressive what happens next. And I have seen a lot of analysts talking about 5k Ethereum very, very soon. This upgrade could be the one thing to get it moving towards that 5k. And once 5k is broken, it's going to literally fly to the moon and back, in my opinion. So let's go and take a look then at what's going on in the overall market. And nothing, it's just a big white screen. Typical. Always seems to be the case, doesn't it, that it does that to me. Let's do that again. Come on, you. Oh, of course that's what happened. I know what happened. I minimized my screen. There we go. All right. So, the market. What's happening right now? Well, if you look at it now, it looks like everything's red, and it is. Bitcoin, of course, is pulled back. We are seeing a lot of volatility here, though, guys, and that's a result of this money coming back into the market so quickly over the weekend. Hey, we've got over on Twitch, we've got CZ Art. How are you doing? CZ Art says ahoy, ahoy to you as well. Let's try and bear with me one moment. Let me just check what's going on here. Okay, that's fine. All right. Just checking the stream quality over there. It seems to be a little bit blurry on my screen, but maybe it's just me. Anyway, yes, we are seeing volatility now, of course. We had that good weekend, but it is still ranging, in my opinion, guys. As for Ethereum, though, yes, it's down 2.77%, you know, now. But really, that's not much of a surprise when we look at the charts for Ethereum, which we'll do in a second. It's obviously still going to do well until the 4th, in my opinion. Bitcoin coming down quite a bit today, but again, it's probably going to be in line with what we are expecting. So let's actually jump straight over to the charts. Let's do this bit first. Ethereum obviously is down by 2.76%, but like I said, not at all worried about that. I mean, considering that over the last couple of weeks, we've literally had Ethereum climb. Well, let's go to the price now. 45%. Okay, and I believe that the articles are describing this as a winning streak. There you go. As you can see over on CoinDesk, Ether prints record winning streak as London Hardfork looms. So yeah, we're down 2.7%, but we're up 45% in total there, guys. Not really something to be worried about. And it's a 12-day winning streak, and apparently the longest ever. So people are getting very excited about Ethereum with regards to this upgrade. Now, as I say here, 2,598, 2,753 are key resistance levels on the path to 3K. And let's have a look at where we are right now. We're at 2,591. So we are heading towards those key resistance levels. I think that 2,800 is going to be pretty tough, but we are heading there. We've still got a couple of days until this upgrade, and if we don't see people selling off to make a profit, you know, I mean, not that loads of people are in profit, obviously, because of the crash that we had anyway, but those who are in profit might want to take some, and they may end up pushing the price down a bit. But my feeling on this is, if you look at what the upgrade is going to mean for Ethereum, I think that we will see probably a breakthrough of this resistance level at 2,800, 900 pretty soon, even if we do see some sell-off over the next couple of days. The great news, of course, is that with this winning streak, have a look at what's happened with our moving averages. I said to you a little while ago when we were looking at Ethereum that we needed to be really wary that there was potential for a death cross of Ethereum's 50-day and 200-day moving average, which is normally a very bearish sign. However, you can see here that luckily this winning streak has been enough to stave off that death cross at the moment. Now, as long as we continue with our upward trajectory, we should stay clear of that death cross. So I'm feeling pretty good about that on the chart. Of course, we have broken out from this resistance, this trending resistance level, and we seem to be very clear of it. If we are going to see any correction, we could see ourselves come back down to this sort of support level of $2,300. That would be perfectly fine in my opinion, as long as we kind of held up around there, and then we'd hopefully see this 50-day moving average come up and become support as such. So with Ethereum, I'm looking very forward to what happens in the next couple of days. Yes, it's going to head into the overbought territory on the RSI, but we could well see some more upside for Ethereum and see it actually range in that top quadrant there for the RSI anyway. And if we go to Bitcoin, slightly different in that it's kind of doing what I thought it would do. As you can see there, guys, we were in that downward channel. We did break out of it and came up higher than I expected. I thought that we would probably go to about 40k and then reject there before moving any further, but we have actually managed to get to nearly, well, actually just over 42k in the end, and now it's been rejected. Now it's possible that what we will see is some support develop here, and if I just draw it in for you guys, you'll see that it does line up pretty much with resistance. Bring it down. It does need to come down a little bit. Bear with me. Let's see where we line up with at the moment. Okay, so you can see that it was around a sort of resistance level. Hopefully it'll turn into support around here, and we'll range at this point and then fly off from there. But I think Bitcoin is going to give Ethereum some breathing room this week. Honestly, I imagine that we're going to see Bitcoin range as a result of this, because everybody's excited about Ethereum, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of volatility and some ranging here Worst case scenario, we continue down but find support at 35k, and that becomes our sort of support level before we take off again in a week or two. So Paul says over on Twitch, yes, sometimes they front run the news and sell off just before the upgrades, halvings, and buy back after. Exactly, it's a typical tactic. Of course, I think they're crazy to risk selling any Ethereum right now. This isn't financial advice, as you guys know, but the fact that Ethereum is going to be basically, I think 5k Ethereum is easily on the cards in the next sort of month, and I think we could even see it go much higher than that soon enough. So I am pretty excited about Ethereum as a result of the kind of the resurgence of interest in the market, this upgrade, and loads of other stuff. The sentiment seems to be there. Everybody's very bullish on Ethereum. Of course, the fact that everybody's bullish on it might be the indicator that it's not going to go as far as we thought. But I like to be happy and positive where I can be, please. So we will keep positive on the price moving forward. In the chat on YouTube, we've got Red X. Does anybody know when the hard fork will happen? Yes, it's due to happen on the 4th. I bet there's a website that's counting down to it. I will have a little look and find it for you. But yeah, it's meant to be happening on the 4th, so 2 days' time, we're going to see that upgrade take place. So if there is going to be a sell-off, it might happen just before the upgrade comes along. But I think we should see a bit more of a pump before that happens yet. Chill. Oh yeah, Chris is pointing out there. I must mention and remind you of Scale. dApps go live soon. So Scale is an interesting one. Scale are developing layer 2 solutions for Bitcoin, I believe. Isn't that right, Chris? It does look very exciting. I think solutions like that, building on a Bitcoin, could do very, very well. We've seen how well Polygon did, and I will mention, actually, I'll be very transparent, I have bought some Scale, so this, I am an investor in it now, so take that with a pinch of salt or whatever you want to do. It's not financial advice, it's my opinion, and I do think that there's some good potential for Scale as a result. So anyway, yes, let's crack on with the so this new one, Chris is saying this current set of dApps is going to be for Ethereum and soon Bitcoin. I knew that they were going to be doing Bitcoin though as well, which is why I'm interested. And of course, if any layer 2 solution for Ethereum is welcomed as well. Polygon seem to have kind of taken the sort of the spotlight at the moment for Ethereum layer 2 solutions, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be the ultimate winner. The other side to it as well is that Polygon and Matic isn't as decentralized as we would potentially like. So any solutions that come along that are more decentralized have a very good chance of succeeding. And yes, so there you go. Now, let me just check over on here. Cheesley! You're in the chat, mate. Thank you very much for joining us, Cheesley. He says, stop panicking, guys, I'm here. And he's also commenting on my nice haircut. Well, thank you very much. I was out the other day and the missus was like, you look like a slob. I still look like a slob. But I said, well, I'll go and get a haircut then. At least that's one thing ticked off the list she can't complain about for me this week. But she will probably start moaning that I haven't had a shave today. So that will be the next thing I'll do. I'll have a shave in time for Friday's stream, everybody. So, I'm glad to see Cheesley joining us. Don't get into trouble at work though, mate. So, just to let you know, Cheesley, we were just talking about, we haven't gone into in depth about the actual upgrade yet, but we were talking about the market. Bitcoin doing what we kind of expected it. I'm hoping it'll find support here and then continue to range while Ethereum does its thing. And as for Ethereum, it's come back about 2%, 3% I think today, but it's been on a winning streak for 12 days in a row, and as we saw in this article, it was, where is it, the article? There we go. It was, in fact, a record winning streak so far for Ethereum anyway, with it being 12 days of gains, which apparently is a record 12 days straight for Ethereum. So, very, very bullish. But of course, when you see it as a 12-day winning streak, it's the longest ever. It does mean that it's probably nearer to the end than it is, obviously at the beginning. But we'll just see how it plays out over the next couple of days. Certainly, this upgrade is very bullish for Ethereum, though. So yeah, overall market looks red, but these are just small corrections as a result of having such a good weekend for the prices. We've also now got Lolade in the chat. Hello, bro. Saw the notification late. Howdy. Howdy to you as well. Hope you're doing well there, pal. Hope you're doing well. And thank you for joining us, of course. And I haven't told people in our Telegram group, which is terrible and very irresponsible of me. Maybe that's something I should be doing. Let me go and quickly message everybody and tell them to get over here. So there we go. It's loading now. I bought a new iPhone just to be able to do Clubhouse, and I'm still not using it. I'm still using my crappy old phone. I don't know. I got so used to this thing, and I don't want to kind of. I don't know. Maybe it's laziness. Can't be bothered to switch over to iOS from Android. So I am live now. Everybody get over here now, straight away. Something like that will do, won't it? Should probably put a link in there, but I'll do. Oh well. They know where to find me. So, with that out of the way. Right, that's our market watch, our market update. And now we get to go into the meat of this video tonight, which is, of course, what the hell's going to go on with Ethereum now. So, as I showed you in that article, it's had a 12-day winning streak, which is great. And we are seeing more and more money coming into Ethereum and Bitcoin again this week as a result of that breakout over the weekend. Now, isn't it funny that literally only a couple of days ago we had articles like this? Bitcoin and Ethereum see more institutional outflows amid crypto market bounce. Now, one thing I'll point out is when we talk about outflows, normally we're talking about exchange outflows. So we're talking about how much money, not money, but actually how many cryptocurrencies or how much of a particular asset are coming off of exchanges and going into wallets, right? So if we have high outflows of Bitcoin and Ethereum from an exchange, that's good because it means that people are expecting the price to go up high and are just taking off exchanges to keep it safe until they do decide they want to sell, right? So that means we've got more long-term hodlers. Here in this article, don't get confused. They are not talking about exchange outflows. They're talking about outflows from the institutions and from their funds, which is actually bad because it's basically saying the institutions are offloading their crypto onto their exchanges or over the desk counter trades, as they call them, OTC trades. This is the kind of stuff we had literally just a week ago in the news. CoinShare highlights that digital asset investment products saw a net outflow of $28 million last week, with Bitcoin leading the charge. According to the firm, negative market sentiment may still be looming within financial institutions. Bitcoin saw the majority of the outflows, which totaled $24 billion, the largest outflow since mid-June. Net flows year-to-date remain positive with inflows of $4.10 billion, but they are off their peak of $4.7 billion seen in early May. This is FUD, okay? And it's clear it's FUD because obviously today, this week, we're seeing Ethereum on a record streak. But it's really important to look at how they phrase these things, right? And you can tell it's FUD because if you look at what's being said here, they saw a net outflow of $28 million. $28 million is nothing, right? That is nothing to these funds, okay? There are funds. We're putting hundreds of millions of dollars into Bitcoin, right? We know that 28 million across an industry is nothing when they say down here, net flows are positive, inflows of $4.10 billion. Okay, $4.10 billion, and only 28 million came out. This is the kind of thing we have to be careful of, all right? Is we've got these big investors saying about how they are, how the money, institutions are losing faith. Look, they sold 10 million, they sold 4 million, they sold 28 million. That is nothing. That is nothing in the market. It's just very clever clever FUD marketing. Andre's in the chat. Yo, Andre, nice to see you in there. Yes, you finally made it to the stream. I'm glad to see it, mate. Glad to see it. We were just talking about how we've had FUD in Ethereum for the last couple of weeks, and it is FUD when you look at things like this. It says 28 million outflow from institutional funds, but the inflows were 4.10 billion. So absolute trash we're hearing about, in the news. We have to just be very careful about it, because they are just trying to scare you as a retail investor into selling up your crypto, especially your Ethereum right now, because they want to buy as much of it as possible. Andre, yes, you posted about ENQ in the chat. That's fine. I will probably look at ENQ at at least the chart for you at the end of this stream, mate. And I will do a review of it, actually, because you have asked very politely for quite some time. I've got a bit of a backlog to do, I know, but I will get to it. So this is the news we were having just a week ago, and now, of course, we've got this news now, which is that the Ethereum is printing record-winning streaks, a 12-day winning streak, 46% gains over the last 12 days. So, it is clever FUD that we're getting, and now, of course, if you fell for that a week ago, those investors, those institutional investors, would have been buying up your Ethereum ready for this pump that we've just seen. So what we're looking at now, though, is we're looking at the latest upgrade, the latest hard fork for Ethereum. It's happening in 2 days' time. What does it all mean? Okay, obviously we're seeing that it's making a big difference to the price of Ethereum this week as we move towards it. There's potential we'll probably see some sell-off as a result of that, because, like we've talked about, there normally tends to be a few people that are ready to take advantage of this news and will sell off maybe the day before the actual upgrade. That's possible, we'll see that. But long term, this could be very big for Ethereum. But what does a hard fork actually do? So what we're looking at here, guys, is that the code base for Ethereum is basically changing. Now, they have these things called EIPs, which are proposals to change or fix things in Ethereum. And a hard fork is one where there's a very big change that actually changes so much that they have to basically fork a new fork of Ethereum from it. Okay, now they have done this many times before, and you can see here that this is this is an old article, but I wanted to get it because it's a good history of hard forks, right? And you can see here that they've had loads of hard forks on Ethereum before, and apart from one of them, the rest have actually gone very smoothly without there being any real sort of break in the system. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. The only one on this list that we can potentially, I would say that the potential is there for this upgrade to potentially end up like the DAO fork, which we'll talk about now. Okay, the hope is that it will run like every other hard fork there is. Byzantium, Constantinople, all these went smoothly. The majority of the miners were behind it, and therefore what happened is the hard forks went without any problems, and everybody moved over to the new code base. Okay, if the miners don't decide to go with it, and there's enough of them that decide they're not going to update, then what we could do is end up seeing is this hard fork ends up splitting into 2 new chains. Okay, and that would be like the DAO fork, which was a very big deal for Ethereum quite some time ago, and I've highlighted it down here to go through with you. Okay, so the DAO fork is a hard fork that occurred back on June the 17th of 2016, and this is because they found a very bad vulnerability inside of the DAO contract. You probably heard about this. This was the DAO hack that people talk about. And as you can see there, it says it was an exploit that was used to drain 3.6 million Ethereum from the DAO fund. Due to the way this contract was designed, these funds would be frozen for 28 days before they could be transferred. If no action would have been taken, the attacker would single-handedly have owned around 4.4% of the total supply of Ethereum. Because of this, basically EIP-1559, this proposal was drawn up in order to change the code of the attacker's lockup contract so everyone would be able to withdraw their Ethereum from the DAO contract. On July the 20th, a majority of mining powers supported a fork which implemented this change. However, here's the catch. A smaller community decided they were not going to allow this change to happen, or didn't want it to happen, and decided to split off, which created the actual original Ethereum chain is actually Ethereum Classic, right? The hard fork is Ethereum as we know it now. So Ethereum Classic was basically people who decided to stick to the old Ethereum code, and so we had this split. I don't see my hands in the screen, but we had this split off, and say Ethereum, the normal Ethereum, original Ethereum code is running this way. The split kind of caused it to go off that way, and this became Ethereum Classic, and this remained as Ethereum. Basically, that was what happened at that fork. Now, that doesn't happen every time. Okay, most miners will move over the code to the main Ethereum changes, and so therefore Ethereum continues to carry on as it is without there being loads of different Ethereums out there. But on this occasion, there was enough miners who didn't want to go along with the change with that EIP-1559 that it created a new currency effectively. So that is the reason I bring this up, is because this particular change, EIP-1559, in this upgrade has the potential to cause a split if enough miners are not happy with it. So if we go and take a look, the actual Ethereum London upgrade will consist of 5 different proposals, right? The biggest one is EIP-1559. This is one we're going to talk about in more detail in a moment. Okay, and this is the one that's causing the most controversy. You then have EIP-3198, and this is, it's not. What does it say? It does enable smart contracts to access value on chain, helping with fraud-proof submissions, trustless gas feed derivatives creation. It's very technical, not all that important to us as users or investors. EIP-3529. This one is to do with block size variance, and this one is to do with how gas fees are refunded, and it means that block sizes could be actually higher than the gas limit, and I don't know whether it will improve block speed, but it's going to change the size of the blocks effectively. You then have EIP-3541. And this one is some improvements to the Ethereum virtual machine, and it's just going to make some changes to how contracts are deployed, basically. So that one is relevant to developers. Again, won't make much difference to us as investors. And then EIP-3554. This one's quite important. This is a difficulty bomb delay. So if you guys know about this, basically, when they developed Ethereum, they knew that they wanted it to eventually go to proof of stake. And because of that, they built in a function there, which is called the Ice Age function, which is, I don't know, that's probably not the official term, but it's the Ice Age, basically. It's the difficulty bomb, they call it. And that's going to basically make mining it so difficult that miners have no choice but to give up mining Ethereum, and then thus everybody will move over to Ethereum 2.0 and proof of stake only. Or that's the plan. In order to make sure everybody moves over, that difficulty bomb is integrated into the code, and they have to keep on at the moment, because they're nowhere near fully releasing Ethereum 2.0 on proof of stake only, that they have to keep on extending the point where that difficulty bomb kicks in. And again, EIP-1554 is just another extension of that, another delay to that difficulty bomb kicking in. So that's good news, because of course we don't want, I mean, if that happened early, then Ethereum would be destroyed, but it won't happen early, because of course we keep getting these EIPs go through that mean that we're going to be fine until Ethereum 2.0 and staking are ready. So that's what all of that contains. And then of course EIP-1559, which is the thing that's making the most kind of controversy with this upgrade itself. So I will quickly check what you were saying in the chat there, because I know I was ignoring you on purpose. I know it's rude of me to ignore you guys, but I wanted to get through that info quickly before I turn to your questions and comments. Chris says, did you know that yesterday was Bitcoin Cash's birthday? I didn't know that at all, actually. He says, I wish Bitcoin was renamed Bitcoin Classic and that Bitcoin Cash took the banned Bitcoin. Why is that? Because you have tons of Bitcoin Cash in your bag. that's exactly what it is. But you know what? Bitcoin Cash could have called itself Bitcoin Classic, maybe. Who knows? We never know whether these things would have worked out or not. And we'll see how Bitcoin Cash does long term. I don't have any Bitcoin Cash. I've been sticking to real I might upset you if I say that, real Bitcoin, but I've been sticking to, the big Bitcoin. CZ Arts in there says Mina is up over 80% last 12 days. Too new to be TA'd though. Sorry, if it's too new to do that with, I won't be able to obviously put it up on the chart. But if you want to, CZ, if you're in Telegram at some point and you want to send me a link to Mina, I don't mind giving it a look over and maybe mentioning it in a stream if it looks promising. I know there's quite a few projects that have come up recently that looked quite good, and I've been shared a few. I think Brad sent me a few interesting ones recently, which I will have to check out as well. I won't mention them now because I don't know enough about them, and I don't want you to rush off and buy them without me actually doing due diligence and taking a good look at them. Pardon me. Get my water. Decided to cut back on the old Coca-Cola today. Today at least. I don't know how long it'll last for. So anyway, the big important thing then for Ethereum that we need to keep in mind is EIP-1559. What does that mean for us? So a nice little blog post over here about it. So basically, the reason EIP-1559 is contentious is because of what it's going to mean for miners. Okay. First up, though, the good news for anybody hodling Ethereum is that this upgrade will actually result in a large portion of fees being burned, right? And that means that every time you do a transaction on Ethereum, some of your gas fees are burned and removed from circulation rather than given to the miners. Okay, and it means that every time there's a transaction on Ethereum, then there's less Ethereum available. Of course, it can continue to be mined, but the idea, I think, here is that it's going to kind of almost end up like Bitcoin a bit, in that it will be a deflationary asset. I don't know how far that will go. I'm not sure if this burn mechanism is designed to make it completely deflationary, or whether it's just there to mitigate against some of the some of the mining that's going on. The point here though is it's meant to reduce the gas fee, remove Ethereum from the pool for gas fees, and the whole point here is to make gas fees more predictable. The other thing that's happening is, like I said to you, one of the things that will change is the block sizes. So efficiency of Ethereum is going to be improved because of that. Hopefully we'll have less transactions being lost in the mempool and waiting to go out. The other thing to do this is that there's going to be a change to how you actually pay for your fees. So before you would just choose, you choose slow, fast, or slow, medium, normal or fast transaction fees, right? And then it'd get put in the mempool, and the miners would decide which ones they want to mine, and you'd have to wait, and hopefully you've paid enough gas fees that they'll add your transaction to the next block, right? This new change is going to make that all kind of basically irrelevant. And so you will pay a set fee on your gas fees, right? It'll still be like fast, medium, slow type situation. But you will then be able to offer a tip to the miners, right? Rather than you just putting a massive sum of Ethereum gas on your transaction, you can decide how much you're willing to pay and then tip if you want to have it go faster. And if you don't put a tip on there, that's fine. But your transaction should still go through and won't be lost on the mempool. So it's going to be very, very good for users, because it means you'll be able to predict your gas fees a lot easier. And it's going to be better in terms of fairness with regards to which transactions get added to the blocks. So I do think that this is going to be a big deal for us as holders and as traders, as people who use dApps and DeFi, but miners might not be all that pleased about this because they will make less money as a result. Now, of course, miners have been making ridiculous amounts of money from Ethereum anyway, but perhaps the actual change to how much they make isn't going to be drastic enough that they all decide that they're going to part ways with Ethereum and create their own chain. Now, I think it would be pretty much stupid of them to do that in some ways, because, of course, with Ethereum as it is right now, the developers are behind it, and most miners have gone along or are going along with this upgrade. So it would be a very small minority, I believe, of miners that would end up causing a split, and then they would have to convince developers to continue developing for the original chain, whereas I believe most developers are more than happy to keep going with the main Ethereum plan and to go along with this upgrade. So it's going to be interesting how that works out. The biggest change, of course, the biggest risk of us having a split will be when it finally goes to Ethereum 2.0 and staking only. At that point there, it's very realistic that we'll have the chain actually fork properly then and have a new cryptocurrency developed or come out of it, which will be continued on by miners, whereas everybody else will move to Ethereum 2.0. So, like I said here, let's have a look and quickly see. EIP-1559 has been the most controversial among Ethereum stakeholders due to its radical redesign of the network's fee market. Coding changes designed to have a number of positive impacts on the network and the value of Ether, including to tie Ether explicitly to the use of decentralized applications, reduce transaction wait times, remove fee market uncertainty that hinders developers and user adoption of dApps, and it'll add a Bitcoin-like narrative of limited supply. Now, it does say here what EIP-1559 is not expected to do is to resolve the issue of high fees on Ethereum, primarily caused by the network's lack of scalability. It does, however, represent a fundamental change to Ethereum's fee market, but not Ethereum's blockchain structure or capacity. So there we go. And then while we're chatting, CZ Art says, fairly big sell volume on Bitcoin since stream started, nearing support around 38k. So yeah, it looks like it might well go down to our previous resistance level then, guys. We'll take another look at Bitcoin and the others just before we finish the stream. Don't panic about that. Okay. Now, so this change is good for us as users. It's good for dApps. It's good for developers. The idea that it could break and have a proper fork is, of course, a risk. But like I said, a lot of developers are on board with this change, so it's quite likely that it won't go that way. Now, people are nervous about what will happen after this fork, because it is a big deal. It may break stuff, okay? Hopefully not. They have tested all these things, but there is a potential for it to break something and may need to be fixed. And of course, there is the risk of miners going their own way. So we do need to be wary of the impact that this might have and the fallout of it. There is talk about potential bugs and all this other stuff as well. So we do need to be wary that there could be a problem there. One of the things that I was looking at, and this is because I was chatting to somebody I know this morning that got me looking into this, and the guy's a bit of an Ethereum genius. He was saying whether to look at the outflows for Ethereum to get an idea of whether people are worried about whether this fork will go smoothly, right? And if you have a look at it, come down to outflows. So where are we on outflow? Oh, come on. Now, he was saying to me about whether people would take their Ethereum off of the exchanges in case something happens with Ethereum, and that, like, for example, maybe there is a fork, right? And perhaps the exchange won't support that fork, right? So the new coin ends up emerging from this fork and they don't support it. You'll keep your Ethereum, of course, but if you were to end up with this other coin as a result of a fork as well, you may not get that if it's on the exchange, but if it's in your Ethereum wallet, then you should get that airdrop to you if that happens. Okay, so that was, I thought, an interesting point. But if we have a look at the outflows from Binance to wallets, they did spike, literally at the end of last month, but they are actually down quite low relatively to previous points in the market, which means that people aren't, which if his theory is right, means people aren't panicking that there's going to be some sort of big change, big problem that comes up as a result. If we look at inflows into the exchanges, bear with me. Net flow, Binance inflow. So Binance inflow, again, if you have a look, in fact, this is good news. Yes, outflows aren't huge, but inflows have been dropping, which means that people are not planning to panic sell. Okay, they're not planning to sell off their Ethereum at this precise moment because we are seeing more. We're seeing less Ethereum coming onto the exchanges and a slight increase in the amount that's coming off of it. And that's, by the way, if I haven't shown you outflows and inflows before, you can set up a free account over at CryptoQuant and you can see all this information. If you see big spikes in inflows, like, for example, I don't know why it does that, that's annoying. There you go. If you see big inflows onto exchanges like here, then it's a good indicator that somebody is about to sell a big amount of a cryptocurrency. So this is a good indicator for what's going on in the market. Well, that's derivatives, but yes, if you look at it on the actual... There you go, anyway, still the same thing. You can actually see if there's any spikes, whether you need to worry about a big sell-off. Of course, big inflow, like huge inflows like this, could indicate massive sell-off. But as you see there was massive inflow there. But the sell-off, relatively speaking, was pretty small because there was just enough people wanting to buy in to counteract that inflow. And it doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to be selling their Ethereum, but it is a good indicator for you guys to be aware of. So that, in a nutshell, is pretty much what's happening with Ethereum. Hopefully that kind of explains to you what to expect over the next few days. Potentially, price-wise, we could see a little bit of sell-off as a result of people taking advantage of the 12-day streak that it's been on. But long-term, as long as it goes smoothly on the 4th, I think that this is really good news for Ethereum. It means that it will become slightly deflationary in its price action. And so we should hopefully see the value of Ethereum continue to rise as a result of it. It's certainly going to be great for us if we're using things like decentralized exchanges and Uniswap. It won't make gas fees super cheap, but it will make them more predictable. And one of the things that will probably come as a result of this is you might end up seeing peak and off-peak times for Ethereum as well, where there'll be certain times of the day where it actually works out to be a lot cheaper to do your trading or your, to send your tokens to wherever that you want to send them, and then you'll see moments where parts of the day where it's just that you don't bother because the fees are higher. So it's some interesting stuff going on there. I think that overall speaking, this is the step in the right direction. I think that we are going to see that flipping happen. There's a lot of people talking about $5,000 Ethereum very, very soon, and I think that it's very, very doable in the next couple of months. We are certainly not at the end of the bull run. What we had was an accumulation phase. I think that we're still heading towards 100k Bitcoin, and 5k Ethereum is around the corner. The flippening is going to happen. How soon? I'm not sure, but it's definitely coming, guys. Now, let's just check it out. Ethereum's still doing very well. Bitcoin, however... Okay, yeah, I mean, it's still dropping. We're still holding the out tonight for everybody. And we'll have a link to this video and some charts. CZ Art says that art is sick. Yeah, thanks, man. Cheers. My daughter did it. My daughter's she's quite good. She's quite good as a little artist, bless her. So she's done me some CryptoPig images, and yeah, this is one of them. I'm gonna try and get her to do one a week for me, so I've got these cool images to put on the newsletter and share with you guys. So that's yeah, I'm going to be hopefully having a cool little cover art every week. Bless her. I'll have to pay her some pocket money for doing it. She does have some NFTs and stuff that she's created. Maybe I'll share a link in the future for you guys to check out. But yeah, bless her. She's very much into her art and animation stuff, and yeah, I've taught her how to create NFTs, and she's been doing that. And trying to get involved online with different communities, which is pretty cool. Nadir's in the chat. Hey, Nadir, how you doing, mate? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing really well. Thank you very much. Good to see you there. You're just in time for charts, actually. So now I've done my little sort of shilling of the newsletter, which is a free weekly newsletter I'm going to be doing. I'm going to put one out tonight for you on Twitter. Yeah, apart from that, it's time. It's time now for some charts, I guess. So let's pop over to here. We've done Bitcoin already. We're currently holding at 38.8k, and hopefully we'll hold here in range. That would be quite nice to see. I mean, if we just do a little bit of fantasy charting, that's my name for it. What would be kind of nice to see is some sort of bull flag develop over the next couple of weeks while Ethereum does a little bit more pumping, and then and then some sort of breakout. Do you think that could take off? Fantasy charting, it would be like fantasy football, and we just put together charts of what we hope and pray is going to happen in the future on these things. So anyway, yeah, that's the plan. That's what I'm hoping to see. Something like that would be really great. But of course, if it doesn't hold here, it's probably more than likely we'll come back down to this channel and find support at what was the resistance level. It's quite typical for Bitcoin to do that sort of thing, and I wouldn't panic as long as it was to hold there. Oh dear, getting thirsty now. So yes, that's Bitcoin. Ethereum we looked at as well. And we'll just bring that up quickly again. It's broken through that resistance level there, and of course it's done very well, 12 days in a row. It's a record, which means that probably more than likely we're going to probably see some kind of pullback, I would have thought. But yeah, at least we are now seeing a potential escape from that death cross I was expecting, or worried about expecting, on the 50-day and 200-day moving average. So if we're going to hold up here, see a few more days of gains before the 4th, that would be great to see. If you have a look here, it's quite likely, I think, that we will go to this resistance level here by the 4th, which would put us, should be red, I'll try and be consistent, which will put us at around $2,800 to $2,900. If we can get to around there, that would be pretty good in my opinion. We'll probably reject at that point because it'll be around the 4th or the 5th, and we'll see maybe some people sell off as a result. And, you know, if that happens, we're probably likely to see it kind of bounce from there and probably find support back around here about 2,600. And maybe then a bit of ranging, a bull flag, and then off again we go. So all very possible scenarios. Of course, we could see a bigger sell-off that would bring us down even further to something like 2,300. Again, though, that should be pretty decent support there at $2,345. So I think that best scenario is that we get to at least get up towards the sort of $2,900 level. And then we'll take it from there. It'll probably be Friday by the time we get there. And, you know, we'll have a better idea. We can talk about it then. And that's what I'm expecting to happen for Ethereum as a result of that. And that, of course, would avoid us that death cross too, which would be great. And there's nothing to say, though, that we wouldn't see it come back and test this. Because, of course, you know, these things do happen. So it could come back down, see a big sell-off as a result of this hard fork, and then a bounce. But I'm pretty just means that there's a chance of a breakdown. Normally because you're seeing that, but actually, I mean, this is looking, I think actually, I would be pretty bullish on this. It's coming at the end of a nice pump in the price. You can see their volume is declining as we get closer to the end of this triangle. So a breakout is very likely to happen by, actually, probably by the end of this week. I think some sort of breakout is probably due for it. I would just keep in mind what the rest of the market does. Obviously, I think the Bitcoin could go down a little bit from here, potentially. Like we were seeing there, it could head down, and that might be enough to bring it, you know, to cause all the altcoins to drop. But if we do hold for Bitcoin at this 38k level, 38.8k I think we're at, then if we range there, then this will be given enough time to break out to the upside. And yeah, I mean, this is looking bullish to me, actually. I think that we probably will see a breakout to the upside as long as the rest of the market holds up. And I don't know. Let's see how far could it go as a result of a breakout. So we will probably see fairly significant resistance at 0.042 cents. So that would be my next target for it, Paul. About here, I reckon, is probably the likely target. for any real strong resistance against that. But what do we get from there? Let's see if we break out from here. Still looking at about 28% gains as a result of a breakout to that level. And then, you know, we might see some more resistance at around 5 cents. But once you kind of break through that, in fact, if you go through this level with enough volume, you will get back up to around 6 or 7 cents without too much resistance. So I think 5 cents will probably provide some resistance. But yeah, once you're up there, you're off to 7 cents. So yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty bullish on RSR, I would say. What have we got in the chat? That's fine. Cool. So yeah, RSR looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Now, I better just quickly check because there was a chart and I will have to finish in a minute. Craig messaging me there. And what else have I got? Bear with me one moment, because I did have some requests earlier in messages. Okay, so Cheesley's also asked about Litecoin.GRT and ADA. Cardano, I won't look at because we've looked at it every single day. GRT, because I like to make myself cry. We'll have a quick look at that one. Yeah, it is say GRT, yeah. No. Oh, don't make me look at this. Why? Why? Evil people. Ah. If ever there was a chart I didn't want to look at, it was GRT. Oh. GRT just makes no sense. Okay? It's a project that should have been so good and so big. It should have been like insane amounts of money being made on GRT. So bad. Paul's like, thank you, James. Oh yeah, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome. And now I've got through the pain of looking at GRT. So at least it wasn't 100% retracement, guys. It's near enough bad enough, though, wasn't it? So as you could see there, we were in the bull market, and it was like, you know, descending triangle at the end of a bullish move. It should have broke out. It should have been a breakout to the upside. It should have been beautiful, and it collapsed. Now, was that when everything collapsed? I think it probably was. But the point is that I've lost money on GRT. So, you know, it's well, I haven't really lost it. It's paper losses, isn't it? It's not the end of the world. I did sell it before it went down, and then I bought some more and it went down further. You know, these things happen. But you can see there, we were talking, we thought it would range and then try and attempt to break upwards, but it didn't. So we are still, unfortunately, in kind of limbo. As you can see with GRT, there is no sort of like indicator that we're breaking above any sort of key resistance levels yet. And it's not that I've lost hope in it. I think it's a good project. It's being used. That's the most important thing. There's utility, but price action wise, it's just not doing what I would hope it to do. I think that at the moment it looks likely that it will attempt to go up to 80 cents again, and it will probably range. In all honesty, I think it's going to probably range between 80 and 50 cents. It's very volatile, actually, when you consider the actual price movement there. It is actually pretty volatile in that respect. You are seeing, you're seeing 50-60% moves in this channel so far, which would be great for day trading. If this pattern held up. And I don't know, I mean, I might be feeling slightly negative about this from a price perspective, you know. tech-wise, I think it's a great project. I think that this is one where I don't mind hodling for a while longer. I think that it will be one that it's going to be one that rewards me long term. Is my perspective on this one. So I don't mind hodling it for a while. Nadir says me too. Exactly. So it's disappointing right now, everybody, and I will admit it. But it's not the end of the world with regards to that. The good news, of course, is that if I remember correctly, the lockup period for the tokens for early investors is over. So, any sort of dumping is kind of probably what's causing this volatility right now. But it means we can get it out of the way, and if we don't get it back on track this cycle, at least we know that next cycle it's going to be able to fly without the those early investors causing too much impact on the price. And I do think that it's one of those ones where, having looked at it again, I feel bad that it's not doing great, but this looks like opportunity for accumulation. So it may be that it might even add to my bag when it comes back down to around 48-49 cents again, which I think it will do. Unless, obviously if Bitcoin takes off again in the next week or two, which I hope it will, we may see it come back up and hopefully get back up, but it'll probably head back up to that $1.40 sort of level if we have a nice big pump and a big return to the bull market, and then it'll probably find resistance again there. But I think that it's probably one to accumulate, because I do think long term it's a good project that's going to do well. So that's my view on this one. It's not looking like it's going to do anything spectacular anytime soon. As you can see, there's no strong structure to its price movement right now, apart from this channel. So we'll see if it holds in this channel and comes back down. Might be an opportunity there to accumulate a little bit more, and if it doesn't break out from the sort of top of that channel, this might be a good sell point. Not financial advice, but if you wanted to sort of swing trade it, you definitely could do that. And then I think that the last one that I was asked to look at was Litecoin or DOT. Which one, guys? Litecoin or DOT? I won't do both because we are over time. What would you like? Litecoin or DOT? I'll let you guys choose in the chat quickly. Chris says, I think that's how I found you, GRT. If only it had been a better outcome, mate. We could have celebrated that this was how you found me on my channel. I still stand by it as a project. I still think it's fantastic. But I do, like I said, price-wise, it's not going to do anything fantastic yet. But it will do eventually. Elizabeth, hey, Elizabeth, thanks for joining us. You are after Litecoin. Well, in that case, yes, I will take a look. Elizabeth, I noticed that your username is Art by Bolwit. Are you an NFT artist by any chance, Elizabeth? Let me know in the comments. You are permitted, if you are, to share a link to your Rarible or OpenSea, something like that, or wherever you're selling your NFTs, you are permitted to share that on there if you'd like. I do like NFTs and I appreciate NFT artists. So you say, no, I'm not, but I'm looking into it. Right. Nice one. Well, you should just, I'll tell you what you should do. Follow us on Twitter at CryptoPigmedia and myself at James M. Stoffard. And there should be a link there for our Telegram group. Come join into the Telegram group and, chat to us about NFTs and all the rest of it. We can point you in the right direction of some tutorials. I did do one about how to create NFTs over on Algorand, and I'm probably going to do some more in the future, a video about Unifty as well, which is another really cool platform being in development. So do feel free to get in touch with us, and if I don't, somebody else is going to point you in some great directions for how to get into it, Elizabeth. It's definitely worth doing. They keep saying that the hype is over, but it definitely isn't. So Litecoin, I think, is Litecoin winning the chat there, apart from Paul, who says, F Litecoin, Charlie rugged me. Oh, mate, Paul, you're still salty about old Charlie rug pulling you. How many years ago was that, mate? You're still not forgiven him? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Oh dear. Nadir says, I like NFTs. And CZ says, I have hundreds of digital art pieces, need to get a site up. Like, same for you, CZ. Just let's chat about it at some point, because I think it's really cool. And actually, I would quite like to help some of you guys out with setting up marketplaces and stuff like that. I don't, I'm not going to ask for money for it. I'd be happy to just help you out of, you can always send me one of your pieces of art. I'll be more than happy with something, even if it's like one of 1,000 or something like that. You can send me a bit of art. I'll be more than happy to help you out just to get started. Oh dear. And Paul's telling me in the chat there he definitely isn't. Yeah, he says no, I'm not. He's not forgiven Charlie for rug pulling everybody with Litecoin. CZ Art says that would be epic. Well, no, you're more than welcome. So do follow me over there and get into Telegram. We'll chat about it later on. But I have to get my I have to make sure I get my newsletter out for people tonight, don't I? So we'll wrap this up with a quick look at Litecoin. Because Paul said about Litecoin, how much he hates it. We're going to do Litecoin quickly and take a look. He'll probably just jump off the... he's going to jump off the live stream now and fume at me on Twitter for doing it. Well, that could have been more interesting. So, where are we with Litecoin? Looks like pretty much similar situation with Litecoin then, guys. It's interesting that a lot of these coins are actually following the same pattern, but just at different stages. If you have a look here for Litecoin, we've seen this with Cardano. Well, Cardano actually hasn't come down, didn't crash like this. But we've seen this with, Ethereum's done a similar thing, where it's kind of found support and then just bounced around like this. It looks like Ethereum is struggling to get over that $148 support level, resistance level, sorry. What would be nice is if it found support now at the 0.786 fib level, which puts us at $120. Potentially it could come back down to there and then continue to sort of like basically test that before there's a breakout. There's no sort of strong pattern here in my opinion. It's had a great couple of days. It is doing the same thing as Ethereum there, but I guess it's slowed down a lot sooner than Ethereum. And what we might see actually, in fact, bear with me, what we might see is we might see a flag develop here, in fact. My initial reaction, looking at macro view, is that it's going to come back down to about, probably about $100 or just over. But, bear with me, go to the 1 hour chart, let's take a look and see what's happening. Potentially, there is some support there. Actually, quite a bit of support there on the 1 hour time frame, at least, for $139. We could see it range here and form a bull flag, but I wouldn't like to say that that's a certainty. We'll probably have to keep an eye on Litecoin for a few days, see how it plays out. If it holds up here, then it'll be a bull flag and probably a good signal that it's got some more upside, especially as it feels like sentiment's turning more bullish again. But if it doesn't hold up there, then it's definitely going to be coming back down for around $110, I believe. Nadir there in the chat saying Litecoin to 70. Paul is saying I'll probably FOMO back in. Well, if you're going to FOMO back in, just hold on and wait and see how it plays out. If it ranges here, then it could well produce a bull flag, and then that might be a good opportunity to get in. If it doesn't, though, you'll have a better buying opportunity down here around $104, in my opinion. There we go. All right, guys. Right, I will get told off in a minute for being on the stream for so long. So hopefully that you've all enjoyed that. Yeah, I think that kind of explains it. That's what Ethereum's doing right now. That's what that whole Ethereum London upgrade is going to mean. And then we looked at all the charts for you. We looked at Bitcoin, we looked at Ethereum, we looked at RSR, we looked at Litecoin, and we've looked at as many as I could think of. I hope that you found that really helpful. As a last quick reminder before I sign off, yes, I'm going to get this out tonight. It's probably going to end up being quite late now because we've overran by half an hour. But I'm going to get this newsletter out to you guys on Twitter. It's free. It's going to be free. It's going to be weekly. It's going to be finished tonight, and I promise on that one. I will get a review out of a coin on Wednesday because I need to start doing that. The bull market's back, or it's really right. It's right on the cusp of being back. So I'm going to be doing some more positive review videos, and then I'll see you again on Friday for our roundup of the week and what to expect on the weekend, hopefully. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight. I really enjoyed it, as always. I really enjoy having you guys join me. It's great to see you all. Yes, get over to Twitter, get over to Telegram, join us there for you guys, Elizabeth, CZ, and others. If you're interested in NFT art and want to be setting up your own marketplace, or you're you're looking at how do I mint my own coins, mint my own NFT art, please do reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. Like I said, I'll probably do it for a bit of free art from you. Honestly, I'm more than happy to at least point you in the right direction. So do just get in touch. All right. So everybody, I hope you have a great time. Paul, thank you, sir. He says, thank you, James, and to the Pig Fam for the company. Yes, thank you, everybody. As always, it's a great pleasure to have you here with me, and I will see you all later in the week. With that said, I meant to say bye first. With that said, bye!